My name is Ngoc. Today, I'm very happy to be here and share with you guys some troubling issues about mental illness among the students and younger children. Often, some parents think that we are too young to suffer from any type of mental illnesses. Well, they're not. And what do you think when I mention about this topic? For me, I have three questions to ponder during this talk. What is mental illness? Why are teenagers considered immune, but not any other age groups? And why do some adults think that the youth can't suffer from these ailments? I chose children as my target because lately, when you're surfing the internet, there are a lot of articles about teen suicide. According to the UNICEF, the average number of suicide in teens is approximately 3,000 cases all over the world every year. What a high reported figure, right? Have you ever thought that the number of suicide we see is just the tip of the iceberg? One thing that all the cases have in common is that they are suffering from mental illness. So now, what do you think I mean by mental illness? Let me give you a short information about these issues. The definition of mental illness is a disorder of emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. This causes individuals to immerse themselves in the negative thinking. I used to wonder if we can cure mental illness in the same way that we cure the physical problems. I had read many articles coming from Mental Health America, Stonebridge, and my findings show that we can't. Curing mental illness with medication can be very difficult and often unsuccessful. Medication can only curb the side effects. And then I realized our bodies are almost like the computers. The hardware will be our physical body, what we can see, hold, and touch. And our mind and soul are more like the software. They can't be seen, but can only be felt. So in comparing between the hardware and the software, if there's a problem with one of them, I believe it is much easier for us to fix the hardware. After taking a lot of time to observe, I recognize that people tend to believe what they see. For example, when you are in a situation when choosing right and wrong, physical evidence is usually the most solid proof that we can use to determine the true outcome. And that is also the reason why in many trial courts, they always have witnesses and evidence. I bet, you must be thinking about how is it related to the topic that I'm talking? Well, it does. Definitely it does. It's the same thing when it comes to mental illness. People often don't think it exists because they can't see it. Let me put you to another situation. When a child comes and says, "Mom, I have a fever," or, "Oh, Mom, my arm is broken." After hearing that, we usually look for the physical symptoms and check the child temperature or their broken arms. If we can't see the ailments clearly, we would seek immediate medical attention from the healthcare professionals. But in another situation, when a child comes and say, "Mom, I feel helpless," would you believe them? Because some adults often assume that children only have two easy missions to complete. Those are eating and studying. They don't have to care about the burden of making a living every day. So how can they suffer from hopelessness and even gradual depression? That's ideal? It's ridiculous. After knowing that people tend to take notice of our body's injuries rather than how we actually feel inside, things get even worse when I realize that there are some adults assuming that children are too young to suffer from any ailments, mental illnesses. I was once the victim of that prejudice. At the end of the secondary school, there was a high school entrance exam. I was so obsessed with getting a high result so that I could be accepted to study at a high school for the gifted. Honestly, I was really confident at that time. After spending a lot of time to study hard, practice hard, and also having the abilities to solve many difficult questions in the practice test. Unfortunately, I failed. Life wasn't what I had expected. After knowing that I failed the exam, I isolated myself for quite a long time. During that period, I had received many judgments from people around me, like, you shouldn't be like that, or you are too young to let it get you down. I was so shocked. How could I be too young to let it affect me so much? It is all my effort for the examination. Dear adults, the young are still human. We also have hurts, thoughts, and feelings. We somehow gradually mature through harsh situations that life throws at us. Anyone can have mental illness, no matter their age. Adults are stressed with earning a living, and children are under high pressure to perform well at school. This creates tension and frustration, leading to pent-up anger and stress. And I also believe this could be the start of someone's downfall with mental illness. So, have you ever thought about the worst consequence of these issues? Yes, like I mentioned above, that is suicide. Some teenagers even think that it is the best way for them to prove that they have got a problem related to their mental health. Therefore, it's all the time. Prevention is better than cure. I think instead of trying to cure already sick people, why don't we try to preventing them from ever getting sick? For example, we could lower student expectations in the classroom and at home. The first thing we need to consider are extra classes and homework. After spending half of the day to study at school and then still go home to continue studying, why don't we try to complete work at school and make less tasks for home? Home should be a place where we all relax and recharge our batteries after a long, hard working days. Many students are under high pressure at school, and then they still go home to get pressure from their parents because of being comparing to the next door kid. Life requires a certain amount of balance between work and play. And when this balance is uneven, we tend to become stressed out, leading to pressure that causes the mental illness. When people are mentally ill, only they can resurrect themselves. If we are the outsiders and we want to help them to overcome this type of illness, we should try to find out what is the core reason that drives them to mental illness and try to prevent things like this from happening, raising awareness and educating parents and students alike. To end the talk, I would like to share with you guys a quote that I had stumbled upon during my research, especially for those who are under high pressure at work and study, and for those who lose their belief and confidence in themselves. Let's look at the screen. Remember your greatness before you were born and was still too tiny for the human eye to see. You won a race for life from among 250 million competitors. Your very existence is the proof of your greatness. To end the talk, I would like to thank everyone for listening, and I hope that this message reaches to everyone around the world. Remember, kids are human too. We also need love, support, and understanding. Thank you.